I've got 4 different irons here. I made this a while back for my daughter's iron, which I don't have here. So I'm going to have to find it. Yeah, I know it's down at the flea market. But however, that feels awful clumpy in there. I wonder why. It doesn't open. Anyway, we know that this right here is an old one that I made. And we're going to make another one out of this right here. But first I want to make sure we can iron on it. Alright, let me kind of go this way a little bit. I made this right here because I like the way the box is, but I said, why not put this iron in it? Now, let's see. There it goes. And the handle folds down and will go right in it. And then you put your cord in it. So that way your iron is good to travel. So now we are going to put that like that. Now I think I'm going to want to make one that will go with this one. This one doesn't work, but there's something I want to do with it. Alright, I think that this iron is hot enough. Yeah. Alright, we're going to try it. Yeah. Oh, it bubbles. That bubbles. Let's see what it does right here. Nope, it don't bubble, but it bubbles here. So we can use it, but we just got to remember we need to sew on this so that it won't bubble like this. But we're going to use it anyway. I want to make the iron, the thing to fit this. Now I'm not for sure if it will go. Yeah. It looks like it would go in here. Let's see. Yeah. It goes this way. So it looks like I can make it the same size as this. Turn it around here. I think I did it the wrong way. I ain't messed with this thing in I don't know how long. So that makes it even harder. Yeah, that's the way it goes right here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, same size. So we can make it the same size. I wonder if that one will fit in it. Well, it's too late right now. Alright, let's see what we could do about cutting everything out. Maybe. If I can get it open again. Alright, we'll be back in a minute. I was curious if this one would fit here, but you can't button it. So, unless you made this bigger right in here. So this right here is out of the question. Alright, now let's see what we can do about cutting this thing out. Alright. Uh-oh. Look at this. That little bit didn't hurt anything. I don't know if I should go with it or not. I mean, it would help, but then again, just think about all this here melting underneath it and everything, and it getting real, I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to use it. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I'm not going to use it. So, let's go to our next best thing that we're going to use. And that is fiber fuel. I think I'm going to want 2 layers of fiber fuel to make sure that everything works out good. And I'm hoping I got a big enough piece. So we're going to check it out. Yeah, if I keep it over there on that side, I'll have to use 1 piece because this top piece is not big enough, or I'm going to have to get some more. I think I'm going to see if I can't get some more. I'd rather have it 2 layers. Alrighty, I got hopefully a big enough piece now. I'm glad I didn't have to cut it. But however, okay, I want to make sure I don't lose my cord. Gotta have my cord. Alright, and let's see what we can do about start cutting everything out.
Alrighty. Well, let's talk just a little bit about the real ark in the Bible, and let's look at Second Chronicles 35:3, and it says, and said to the Levites that taught all Israel, which were holy unto the Lord, put the holy ark in the house which Solomon the son of David, king of Israel, did build. It shall not be a burden upon your shoulders. Serve now the Lord your God and his people Israel. Now we know the ark started out in the temple, but now put it into the temple. And there were times of such grave apostasy during the reigns of Manasseh, when there was such wickedness that there were holy Levites that feared for the safety of the ark and of the scrolls of scripture within the ark, that literally they took the ark and hid it. Now there's ideas. There's one belief that it was in Ethiopia. They still claim to have it there in the bottom of a church, and I don't believe that. If the Israelis thought there for a moment that the ark was really there, I bet they'd go get it. What do you bet? So I don't believe that one. There's also the belief that the ark could be hidden, that they, in a time of apostasy and at the time of the Babylonian invasion, that the ark was hidden in an underground compartment there in Jerusalem, in an underground place. And I'll read a scripture in 2 Maccabees, and this is the King James Apocrypha, and this is the account which I would be more inclined to give credence to. In 2 Maccabees chapter 2, beginning in verse 4, it was also contained in the same writing that the prophet, being warned of God, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him, as he went forth into the mountain where Moses climbed up, that would be Mount Nebo, and saw the heritage of God. And when Jeremy came thither, he found an hollow cave wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door. And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it. Which when Jeremy perceived, he blamed them, saying, As for that place, it shall be unknown until the time that God gather his people again together and receive them unto mercy. Now, according to this, Jeremiah hid the ark in Mount Nebo at the time when the Babylonians came in 586 BC. And one thing that we can, in Scripture, in Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 16, there's a prophecy. And it shall come to pass, when ye be multiplied and increased in the land in those days, saith the Lord, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of the Lord, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done anymore. And now the Lord Jesus Christ he is the Lamb that was slain from the foundation of the world. And the Ark of the Covenant, whether it's found or whether it's not found, if someone would come up with the Ark of the Covenant, I mean, this would just absolutely drive people nuts. I mean, whoever could have possession of the real Ark of the Covenant, and I wouldn't doubt that some kind of shenanigans like this might be pulled. Right now, underneath Bernini's canopy in Rome, where the Pope sits, there, it's literally, if you look at it, it's an imitation of the Holy of Holies where the Ark of the Covenant sat. So, to us, the Lord Jesus Christ is the one we worship. That Levitical system and the things of the tabernacle, they no longer hold special relevance for us. Of course, it's special. Of course, it's something wonderful. But it doesn't have that super spiritual meaning for us, because Jesus Christ has risen from the dead, and he is our great high priest of the order of Melchizedek. That is what we're all about, not finding some relics of the bones of some saint, or even the candlestick of the temple, or whatever. You know, if that we would find that, that'd be neat and that'd be cool. But I do believe that it's possible that this lost ark could come back in the last days as some kind of evil plan by the evil ones.
David, here's my opinion on this. I think they have it. They know where it's at. It's just gaslighting everybody and saying we moved it here, moved it there. If they're admitting that they have crash retrieval programs at the UFOs, they have the Ark of the Covenant, let's just say in a hunker down bunker somewhere. Because here's where I'm at with this. With the radiation signatures and EMF readings, David, they have to have it. They have to know where it's at. They got it lock and key. What do you think, David?
I wouldn't argue with it. I wouldn't argue with you. And, I think this very well could be a part of the scenario. I wouldn't argue with you a bit there, Brian. All right. Well, let's talk just a little bit about the false ark. And if the ark, morals and dogma, we're going to look here at Albert Pike. Albert Pike, who was, as most of you know, the leading Masonic scholar of all time. His book, Morals and Dogma, is called by many the Masonic Bible. And here in this movie, we have the concept, we got the well of the souls of the underworld, of the dead, that is visited by the god Ra. We have the false cross upon the tomb there of the false Messiah. We have here in the end these spirits that are released from the well of the souls. They're pouring out of this ark in the end of the movie. Now, not the real Messiah, not the real Ark of the Covenant. And what we need to know is that the mystery religions, and specifically here we're going to look at the role of the ark, the false ark, in the Egyptian mystery religions. And we'll learn this from Mr. Albert Pike. On page 412 of Morals and Dogma, he writes this, and he talks about the procession in the rites of Isis, the worship of the Egyptian goddess. He said the same officers are found in the procession of initiates of Isis, described by Apelles, all clad in robes of white linen drawn tight across the breast, and close fitting down to the very feet, came first one bearing a lamp in the shape of a boat, and you can see they're imitating the candlestick, they're imitating it all. Second one carrying an altar. We had the imitation of the candlestick, the brazen altar, and third one carrying a golden palm tree and the caduceus. Then followed a chest or ark, magnificently ornamented, containing an image of the organs of regeneration of Osiris, or perhaps of both sexes, emblems of the original generating and producing powers. In the Egyptian mysteries, there was this false ark that was a blasphemous, and this whole procession of the worship of Isis was blasphemy against the actual worship that the Lord ordained for his people, Israel. So here we see the false ark, the role it played, and it gets back, and of course, Albert, and in Morals and Dogma, he teaches that God is bisexual, just like Blavatsky, and he takes it right out of the Kabbalah. And here we see the chest with the organs of the sexes. I mean, this is rank paganism, and it's disgusting. But we can see here that the image, everything is turned inside out, and the dead being released from the well of the souls. These are not anything from the good side, but this is speaking of the end-time release of the spirits from the restrainer, and the whole concept here of the false ark in imitation of the worship of the true God.
I agree 100%, David. And it's just blasphemous, and they subliminally put it in our face through movies,
Yes,
media,
they do.
magazines, books, whatever. And the devil's used the tools to manipulate the minds, and especially I think here in America. I think we've been bamboozled enough to, make our eyeballs peel back in your head as far as I'm concerned, because it just, it seems like, when you relate back to these films, it's like, whoa, you got a new pair of eyes, literally, a new pair of, you can see things, the veils come off your eyes, so you can actually relate back to something you've watched like 500 times probably, because everybody's guilty of watching these movies over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, I bet almost and like I say, we're not encouraging people to go watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I bet that almost everyone in our chat room tonight, I bet you've all seen this movie. This is something that we grew up with, that was a part of our culture. And that's why we're doing this, to help us understand the influence that these movies have on our culture, and have all had on us. It's inescapable. This is what we were raised with. And I know back in the day, I didn't think much of it. I even watched The Little Rascals, and I didn't even, we did a midnight ride about The Little Rascals. There's all kinds of stuff in that. I never got it. But yet these things, they subliminally program you. They plant things in your mind that are expanded upon later. You see, and these things shape our understanding, and they shape our worldview. And beyond that, there's this element of predictive programming that is, I think, we need to be aware of, because when you look at these things, this 1936 stuff and the Forrestal stuff, this is a coincidence. We are of all people most naive if we just want to say, well, this is just a coincidence. No, it's not. It's all deeply tied to this entire scenario of the shadow government that is based out of Antarctica.
I agree, David. In this next slide, talking about the Ark of the Covenant, we got Indiana Jones and the gentleman, I don't forget the character's name. They're holding the Ark, supposedly, and, I could sit here and kind of comment on this. It's kind of interesting that you have obviously the two angels at the top of the Ark there, but then you have the two men are trying to work together so they will not drop it, so to speak. And I just thought it was interesting. You have the way that they have it, this shot here in the scene of the movie, they're looking at each other. They have to literally work together to balance it out on these two supposedly, I guess, rods, to keep them from not getting, according to the beginning of the film, the Ark of the Covenant, shot out plasma rifles, basically. Like, it was like, full of, we're going to talk about it here in a little bit, about the ghosts that come out of it and whatnot. But it's interesting that at the beginning they had this depiction, if you touch it, you get like radiation burns. That's what they're pushing during the film at the beginning. And then they had like these goblins coming out and devouring the whole armies and everything. And these two men are looking at each other. And, I could go down a big deep decoding. That we get you get the yin and the yang. You got the jamborees. You got the two face of two coin looking at each other. I could go down a big rabbit hole with this. Dave, what do you say? What's your breakdown of this slide here? What's your breakdown of this scene of Indiana Jones here?
Well, I think this whole scenario, and if you remember, there was a place where the other archaeologist that competed against him, Malik, and there was a scene in the movie where Malik says to Indiana Jones,
"These Pinkins, this is helping. This is bringing them out, so I can handle that. It's a mistake doing this. It was wrong. So I'm glad that I can take the eraser and erase them off. I mean, they don't take it all the way off, but it does take the majority of it off. So now I need to figure out what to do here. Ow. All right, Mama Kate, you're gonna have to move or something so I can get this right here. I got things to do, and you're not helping me none. All right, let's see what I can do here. All right, I'm gonna lay it straight on this line here, right there, and I have the middle of it. So now this right here needs to go this way and level it up with the line. I don't know about level it out. All right, what are you gonna do, Mama Cat? Okay, here we go. I don't want to use the marker because it's a permanent marker. So I think that was the one that I used. All right, it goes straight out this way. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, and now then the next one from that one will go that way. And then this one will go out this way, and I don't know how in the world it's gonna. Okay, it'd have to go like that. Yeah, that would work.
I am just a shadowy reflection of you. And here we have this dualistic concept of Luciferianism that, like Eliphas Levi said, that the devil is just God being bad. God is capable of doing good. God is capable of doing bad. Not the true God of the Bible, but this is this Luciferian concept. And all through this, we have the false Messiah. And here we have the Ark, but no, it's not the real Ark. And here we have Indiana Jones, who is a Messiah figure. Well, he's got the Ark, but wrong Ark, wrong Messiah. Wrong spirits released out of the Ark. And we see this whole dualistic concept and the idea of these shadowy reflections that just underline the whole movie. And you don't see it unless you decode it. And that's why we have Indiana Jones Decoded tonight on FOJC Radio Sunday Night Live. And some people wonder why I'm always looking over here like this. That's because I got to look over here to see these beautiful slides that Brian's made. That's why. I'm not just fidgeting. I'm not just fidgeting. Sometimes I do fidget, but I'm not just fidgeting. I'm looking at the slides here Brian made. So there you go.
Alrighty, if you noticed how I did the second one, I like it a whole lot better than the way I did the first one. Because to me it worked out a whole lot faster and better. So I like it better. Now I just gotta try to get these strings out, and hopefully I can get them all. I don't know, but I think it's working out pretty good. Now let's see what we got over here. I hope it works plumb right down to it. I don't know, but we will finish it the next video. And let's see what we got here. Get all these strings. Gosh, oh. Alright. I think I got enough. I hope I got them all. Alright, we'll see you next video.